Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the weekly dust upon the internet. That is the Studio Rats Q&A live number 161, and this time's 3 for the price of 1. In the absence of Mr. Ivy, I'm sitting in, hello, Adventures in Gearland, Greg/Larry, the elusive on occasion and yet wondrous Mr. Lee Abrahams. There we are.
Good evening.
And the only actual member of the Studio Rats, Mr. Paul Drew. How are you, sir?
Howdy doody. Hey, so where's James? James has gone over to the Isle of Wight or something, isn't he?
He's on the Isle of Wight, eating chips or no crab sandwiches.
He does like a bit of crab, does James? Loves his crabs.
We'll leave that one there.
Yes, he makes his pilgrimage every year. They've got some friends down there who they go and house. I think it's a house sit arrangement, and they've got a dog that they get to look after as well. So the kids are very happy. James and Jen are happy, and all is well with the world down there. Well, he has a couple of weeks to refresh and not be inside Dave. I think that's 2 for the night. I'll stop at 3. There we are. So
nice.
We're going to sit in. Paul, you're going to have to drive, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll drive. So everyone, right? Hold on a second. What are you drinking? Just show me what the tipple is.
It's Ribena.
Is it Ribena? It looks warm. What's in it? It looks warm.
It's red wine. It's a bit of Argentinian Malbec.
Why is it all sweaty?
That's just the nature of the glass. It's a frosted glass to allow the cricketing design to come through.
Oh, there we go. So I'll ask, what's everyone been up to on with their musical escapades this week?
I've been just dodging the rain, basically.
on gigs?
Well, almost. We had an outdoor gig booked for tomorrow night down on Hayling Island on the seafront.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's been postponed until next week. So it's a bike night, basically. Motorcycle bike night. They have down on the beach every Thursday during the summer. Mm-hmm. And we played we played it last year, and it was a really good night. And they said, we'll have to get you back in future years. So they booked us for tomorrow night, but the weather's just looking terrible. And you can imagine what it will be like down on Hayling Seafront tomorrow in the wind and the rain. So
yeah.
So the weather for next Thursday looks pretty good. So we postponed it to next Thursday. So
that's good. It's good you haven't lost the gig. That's
good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we're just entering really, really busy gig season at the moment. I think I'm gigging every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon between now and when I go on holiday in September.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. The chops will be on point then by the end of summer.
Yeah, indeed.
Hey, Greg,
even need a string change by then.
Yeah. Greg, by the way, so Lee's got a gig near me on the 27th?
26th or 27th, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So if you want to come down for that day, we're going to have a couple of beers and then wander back or whatever. But we can talk about that later. So that's what Lee.
That's when I'm camping with the family. But I'll double check.
Yeah, double check.
Yeah.
So what about yourself, Greg? What have you been up to?
I am editing together a backing track with the exclusion of the drums, made entirely with the Boss ME90. So bass, a selection of guitars, and a sort of quasi synth pad sound. Because I just wanted to try and just see how far I could get into the weeds with that in terms of what's in the box, as it were. So that's a bit of fun. I'm also in the process of putting together some patches for a show that Jivey and I are doing in September up in Birmingham for Sam, the Coffee with Sam podcast live. We're doing a number of tracks, and I'm going to use the Boss Katana with the JFC and the FE or the FX. The foot controller, foot. It's a dual foot controller with one treadle. So you've got two outputs to control 2 different parameters at once.
Nice.
So I'm chucking some stuff together there because I figure that the likely constraints of that venue, because it's community run rather than being a fully pro venue, it would be easier to be able to just control everything sound wise without having to worry about the variables of getting tubes and valves going at different levels to appease whatever sound equipment there is in house. So
Okay.
yeah, the consistency of let's just keep it all digital will hopefully make it a smoother ride.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it this week because the kids are very definitely off school now. I spent this afternoon baking banana bread with our two girls. We've been down the park. Tomorrow morning we're going swimming. Tomorrow afternoon we're going to a family fun day. They're off to a friend's. It's not very musical, is it? But that's real life. So
Sounds exhausting.
it is absolutely exhausting. So I was up editing at about 3:45 this morning, doing a few bits and bats to try and get something done in the day prior to the rugrats falling out of bed and incessantly asking for snacks.
Nice. Right.
What about you, Paolo? What you been
Drew,
doing?
yeah, well, Mr. Drew, what you been doing?
I mean, a couple of things. The review of that.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
I think they look really handsome.
Yeah. So it's nice. So Marshall sent this down a couple of months ago, actually, maybe a month and a half ago. So I've been getting to grips with that, and then I did the release video for that. It's good.
Looks heavy.
Huh?
It looks heavy.
No, it's not. It's not actually compared to no. It isn't light, but it's compared to like a lot of our amps. No. It's fine. And then what arrived today, which is quite exciting.
New toys.
Oh God! Now this is heavy. This is a prototype of the studio amp.
Oh, brilliant!
So,
Nice.
it's not. This is not obviously how it's going to look. It's a prototype, so it's just all messed up and stuff. But you can see it's got the working label on it.
Nice.
Yeah. So
up to see that.
Yeah. It's just so what we got. We got gain, tone, cut, master, and reverb, and it's based on the matchless circuit.
Right.
So what we're trying to do is to come up with a UK built version of my favorite amp, but it's not going to be exactly the same as my amp. It's going to be slightly different.
Okay.
Of Matchless Independence, but it's based around. It's more sort of based around the C30, which is like the Matchless.
The Chieftain.
No, the Chieftain. No, the Chieftain's the EL34 based amp.
Mm-hmm.
The C30 is their flagship amp. It's the it's based on an AC30.
Right.
Yeah. But it's like a bomb-proof AC30 that with all the Matchless sort of bells and whistles and stuff.
So does that mean it's got 84s in it or 6L6?
It's got 84s.
Oh right, okay. So it's going to be fairly low power.
It's going to be 20 watts.
Yeah, right.
Switchable, switch down to 5 watts.
Nice. Yeah.
Because I don't think you need any more than that.
No.
And there's big sort of pro level giggers now that are going out with 20 watt amps, and I think
you don't need more than 20.
And it's so loud. Honestly, I can't get the volume past one, the master past one. But the thing that I wanted on it, and the thing that we've done is that we put a master volume on it, so you can. Which a lot of people were saying, about the that little Marshall hasn't got a master volume. Well, the old JTM didn't have a master volume, but people want master volumes, and it sounds great, and it's got reverb on it as well. So we don't know at the moment whether it's going to be an amp that's going to have reverb on, or it's going to be an option, because it costs quite a bit to put a reverb circuit, because it's a valve driven reverb circuit.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Does it need one then?
Yeah. What's that?
Does it need a reverb then? If it's expensive to put it in, bearing in mind quite a lot of people will perhaps provide their own reverb.
Has it got an effects loop?
No effects loop. And there's a reason for that. It's because it affects the tone.
Sure.
And it's like as soon as you start messing around with effects, we just want like because it's point to point, hand wired, from start to finish, without having to come out and plug into certain things. And the way that I'll use it, of course, is in the studio, going into an attenuator,
sure,
and then having the reverb on me, or I'll be using it live, with the reverb that's built in, or again with an attenuator and stuff. But it has to be an amp that works with an attenuator and without an attenuator. So it has to be an amp you can use because like loads of amps, like we go around to James's sometimes, and when we're testing out amps, and we plug it into an aux box, and certain amps don't sound great at all.
Don't fancy it.
Yeah, and especially Cornford. Especially Cornford. They don't like it at all.
Really?
Yeah. They always sort of crap out for some reason. Every single Cornford that we plugged in. But anyway, so it has to work with and without, and it has to have the right sort of gain. It's quite complicated, like all the stuff we're going through, like how much gain should it have?
Yeah.
The EQ and all that sort of stuff. It's just like, and then you're trying to explain EQ, how you want things with by using stupid words like sparkle.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, and that words like that mean different things.
Make it better. Make it
exactly.
better. You've got to make it better.
It's not, I mean, it's quite hard explaining. If I said, "Oh, make it brighter," that might be to someone. It might be like high mids, and to some people it might be presence like right at the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite hard to explain it. But I think this is the first iteration of it, and I think we're like 90% there.
And that's been put together in the course of the last. Is it 3 weeks since you went up to Deepest Essex to see him? Is it Essex?
Yeah,
is that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's 3 weeks for him to go from, all right, we want these flavors, away you go.
Yeah.
Are you likely to be able to get back up there and have another?
Yeah, we're gonna have
in the room session, because as you've just outlined there, trying to articulate this stuff and then it being interpreted at the other end of a phone line or a Zoom call after the fact, not very straightforward.
Yeah.
It's surely got to be finessed with everybody in the room so that you're all happy with it.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna have to do that.
Single channel.
Yeah, just one channel. That's what it's going to be. So it's going to be. The thing is, like, I'm not, and I love the idea of pedal platform amps. I love the idea of pedal because that's basically how we get. If I'm using my match list, I use one channel of that match list because that's the channel that I like, and then I'll get all my drives from pedals and all that. So that's what I wanted. I wanted the first channel out of that amp, and then to add pedals to it. But the thing about most pedal platform amps is that they tend to be, people like them, or people think a pedal platform amp should be like crystal clean. And for me, it shouldn't be. It should have that tiny bit that when you actually, because when you put like an overdrive pedal on a really clean amp, the whole thing just sounds different. Sure. So I want, it's got to have a certain amount of headroom that then, the pedal crunches into that, but still have headroom. So it's really complicated, but I think we're really close, which is really good.
No, exciting. And
should we do
that arrived today?
That arrived today, yeah. So I've been going through. I've been having lots of fun with that today.
Sound. And there's one going to Jivy's gaff as well.
No. So
he says hopefully, because it's only an hour down the road for me to get to his gaff and have a go.
Well, the thing is, if it was a Studio Rats drum kit, I'd say let James do it, but it's not, and James will end up going.
What would be the point in that? All drums sound the same, don't they?
Exactly. All drums sound the same. And the thing is, and all James would do, he'd go, "Oh, can we have a mid scoop button, and can we have like a prog rock button or something?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "No."
Yeah.
No. See, Lee's getting excited now.
Yeah, it's 14 minutes past, and we've only now made our first drummer joke. That's bad form, chaps. We need to up the rates. Because traditionally, when James isn't here, people start subscribing and dispatching money to the Studio Rats account, and we belittle all hitists.
Absolutely.
There we are. You're absolutely right. Let's push on, shall we?
Yeah. So Nabs, he says, hi gents, cool greetings from Nabs to all. Paul, I know you love the Amplug
Iridium.
Doesn't he mean
Strymon Iridium, isn't it?
No, yeah. Didn't he mean the what's the blue? The blue.
Oh
blue
yeah, the
yeah, the Thomas Blue. Yeah.
It's not
yes,
the
Amp One Iridium.
That was it. Yeah.
Did you sell it and waiting for the Ampex? No, it's around somewhere. No, I haven't got any updates. I know nothing about it. He did release something the other day, didn't he, Greg? Did you see something?
Yeah. Well, he foolishly goes up against the Illustrious Studio Rats live stream on a Wednesday evening, doesn't he? So I had to catch up. And I mean, crikey, what a player! He opened proceedings last week just doing a live performance using that gorgeous strap that he's got, the actual strap rather than the Wilkinson one. Right, yeah. But then, in short, they he and the other chap that were on the stream were saying we are still having a lot of problems. It's worth a watch. I think I got about 40 minutes in. It sounds like they're really struggling, but also they remain utterly determined to make it happen. But
why are they struggling? What's going on?
They're having problems with the programming, as far as I can make out. One thing changes something else, which has a knock-on effect elsewhere. They've got certain elements ready to go in terms of their manufacturing back-end stuff, but as yet there's nothing to manufacture because they're just not ready. They've got boxes ready for units that aren't yet made to go into. It seems to me that they've got into the weeds a bit. In terms of maybe concentrating on things that aren't necessarily or shouldn't necessarily be the focus. However, that's just me as an enthusiast rather than an expert on the outside looking in.
It sounds like they've probably announced it far too early because it's been known about for years.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know whether it's like whether they should have kept it quiet because everyone now is just a little bit.
The other thing that saddened me, perhaps most
the world
of all,
moves on so quickly.
Well, yeah, exactly. The display on it looks like the TC Voice Live 3, so it's already very dated.
Wow. Okay.
Sort of visual user interface against touch screens galore from the likes of Boss and all the rest of them. So yeah, I do wonder if they thought, well, we'll get this out in good enough time and it'll be so good that people will just get on with it. Whereas because it's delayed as much as it is now, I wonder if people will look at it and think, yeah, it sounds all right, but it just doesn't look great. It's got to boil down to sound, surely. I mean, you would hope, wouldn't you? Musicians would buy on the basis of what they hear rather than what they see.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think the only thing that worries me is this price that he's planning on. Because bless him, he's worked so hard at this, and he deserves it to be a success. He's a mega talent. He's a great guitar player and an amazing technician engineer.
Yeah.
He's got great ears. He deserves it to go well. But if it's going to be $2,000, people are not going to buy that.
It's punchy. Yeah, especially if you're the sort of player who is concerned about having all of their gear at their toes when they're doing the gig, which we get in England a lot, where there's some woman like that stood right next to your stuff, and she thinks that she's holding the world in place, but unfortunately, it's about to pour all over your £2,000 unit and watch your back up.
Yeah, but it's MIDI. You could, if you're concerned about that sort of stuff, as you should be, you can always stick it on top of your amp. But there's your backup. He loves that thing. It is a good unit, that.
Very good.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I really hope it works out. I
wish him all the best. I get the distinct impression that there's a lot of sunk cost emotional baggage in that now, because it's his thing, it's his name on it, and all the rest of it. I just hope they manage to get it to a point where it can come to market and be what the concept that they've been dreaming of all this time actually should.
Do you know where it's being made?
Yeah. I might well have continued into more detail on that stream, but I'd reached the end of a listening period of time because it was last week and the kids were already off last week, so I just snuck 40 minutes to do it whilst putting the washing on and putting the background and all the rest of it. And then, right, Daddy.
Fair dude. Yeah. Okay, next one. Daniel says, "Good evening, Rats. Good evening, Daniel."
Hello, Dan. Hello, Al.
Al says, "Evening, guys. Hope all is well, and to you, Al."
Nice.
Yes, can it look at that? Jeff says, "Good morning from soon to be sunny Brisbane. It's 5 a.m. Oh, yeah, it's all going to change soon, isn't it?"
Thanks very much.
Yeah, it's 5 a.m. and all appears to be fine. Hope everyone here is fine too, and to you, Jeff.
To you,
nice
Jeff.
That. Like that. Sophie's in the house. Hi, Sophie. Pet. Evening players.
And it's an actual picture of Pet tonight.
I know.
That's George Lynch, isn't it? No, not. Yeah.
Funky Bass, evening all, evening Funky.
Hello, mate.
And then there's my mouse. Hold on, my mouse is gone. Chemical P, top of the day, ye old chaps.
Hello, Mike.
I don't know what's going on here.
Cast of thousands and not a drummer inside.
Jeff says,
no,
cast of thousands, not a drummer. If there's any heaven, it could be much better than this.
3 guitarists tonight. We are officially Iron Maiden tonight.
I tell you what, shall I steer and someone read? Because that's otherwise it seems I'm just trying to take over the place and I'm not.
Good enough. Dabor, evening all. Hello there. Al's back. Looking at purchasing the Wampler gearbox. Have you got one or tried one? I haven't. I did watch another raft of videos of Mr. Wood using it in anger 2 weeks ago. Sometimes I just binge watch his channel because it inspires me and makes me feel bad in equal measure because he's just monstrous good, isn't he?
He is. He's one of those guitar players that can just play anything. He's a great country player. He's a great rock player.
Yeah,
he can do anything. He's just
good for him.
Natural talent. Yeah.
No, I haven't got one. Either of you had a crack on one of those things?
No. So what is it? It's a blues driver and something else, isn't it? I can't remember. No, I've never tried one. I'm surprised Lee would love that. Bloody love that thing.
Yeah.
Joel, you'd love that.
One enclosure, 2 different things.
Oh, okay. Oh, excellent. I'll have a look at it.
It's punchy, as Wampler stuff tends to be, but it's Wampler good. Yeah, so, worth the price tag.
Absolutely. By the way, guys, if you don't mind giving us a thumbs up, it would be massively appreciated because YouTube is stinging us at the moment. There we go. Is he going to do it? Thumbs up. It'll be massively appreciated.
I just like.
There we go. Thank you. So if you can give us a thumbs up if you're liking it, because it really does help.
That makes me feel very self-centered, given that I'm actually a part of this dirge tonight. Anyway, Shep, good evening, mate. Watching a very wet Nottingham this evening. It was threatening to rain all day. When I put the kids to bed last night, it was saying it was just going to sieve down all day, and it didn't come until about 1 o'clock when I just happened to have started to walk them back from the park, and we were going past the Anchor, the local boozer. So, quick, girls, let's take shelter.
Nice.
That worked out well. Pet, Blue Moon salutes you, gent.
Nice. Cheers, Pet.
Stuff.
Like a blue moon.
Watching on Facebook.
I've just got a nice slice of orange in that.
Max is in the house. In the house.
And he's on Facebook.
There
we are.
It's on Facebook.
Howdy, boyos.
You do get a Facebook viewer then.
Oh, yeah.
Ben,
I found a Squire Pro-Tone thin line telly that looks sweet. Made in Korea, late 90s, rosewood board. Only thing is, I don't normally like single coils, but always love telly sounds on YouTube, etc. Should I? Well, Paul and I are both going to say yes, because we love our tellies. Where do you stand, Lee?
I'm not a massive single coil fan, really, if I'm to be perfectly honest.
There's some other stuff we're going to fall out over later on. So
I always feel as though just there's some thickness missing when I play. I don't necessarily notice it with chords. It's just soloing, isn't it? And I just
use that parametric EQ that you got last week.
Well, yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah. You could thicken it up with some mids. Yeah, absolutely. But no, I'm certainly for the bridge position. I'm definitely a humbucker guy. But that's not to say that you can put like a hot rails pickup in the Telecaster if you wanted a thick sounding bridge.
Yeah. So Ben's got what looks like
I'm going to share because I'm going to share the screen because it looks like one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, Roy Stolt from the Flower Kings always plays one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Does he?
Yeah.
I'm going to hold on. There we go. We're back.
What are you going to use it for, Ben? If you're on Strat types, what's the matter? It all looks normal at this end.
Incredibly generous. I've got to come.
We've got to. Yeah, we do need to go to that one next. Before
let's deal with Ben. Let's deal with Ben, and then I think you should definitely look at that. And it's all about dialing it in. So what Lee does, Lee's got, if you've got an amp, or if you dial your tones in for humbuckers, and then you plug in, so that's what you're used to, and especially Lee, because Lee uses a lot of sort of modelers and that sort of stuff. If your tone's set up for a humbucker, and then you plug a single coil into it, you're going to go, "Ooh, that's a bit thin." Like if you set your amp up for single coils and then you plug a humbucker into it, you go, "Oh, that's a bit fat and flubby." So the fact that you're not normally a fan of single coils is literally just setting up your amp. Personally, for me, I think single coils. I way prefer single coils over humbuckers. I'd have, if humbuckers were never invented, I couldn't care less. If single coils were the only pickup, if humbuckers were the only pickup, I'd be like going, "Oh, I wish there was something with a bit more clarity."
A final line from me, Ben. I listened to Justin Hawkins Rides Again the other day, talking to Richie Kotzen. Well worth a look if you can find that on YouTube. It's not too difficult to get. And he made quite a salient comment. I thought that a Telecaster with a little bit of saturation on the amp or the sound that you've created is likely to give you the most information, the most clarity across all of the notes that have been played. Get yourself a telly, live the dream.
Yeah, there's no doubt it cuts like a knife through a mix. And it's I'm led to believe, I don't know whether it's true or not, but I'm led to believe it's how that bridge pickup is mounted in the bodywork of the guitar. Right. Because on Strats, of course, they're attached to the scratch plate, aren't they? All the pickups are attached to the scratch plate, but the actual something to do with how the bridge pickup in the Telecaster is mounted that gives it, and a strung through body.
Yeah, through that bridge.
Exactly. Got a bra on the bottom of the Telecaster pickup, which adds to that sort of sound. I just love. Honestly, you could take every guitar away from me, but take away a Telecaster, and I'll be like, I'll be in tears.
But one final thing before we move on, it's no good having a Telecaster if you're a fat guy like me, because there's no arm cut and there's no belly cut. So it's it's like a slab of wood right around in front of you. So if you're thin like Paul and Larry, go for it.
The Colonel managed well enough in his slightly more rotund days, didn't he?
The Colonel?
Steve the Colonel Cropper.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he definitely did.
But
you meant
comfort is definitely a thing. Although we saw, didn't we, when we were at Brighton the other week, the Chapman Danish Pete signature thing. That's essentially a T-shape, but with body affectation.
Well, the Richie Kotzen one, the Richie Kotzen signature model. Yeah, that's got all the cuts in the right place.
Yeah.
We've got to go and do this, haven't we?
Because the generosity of Chris is.
Oh, we're going that way tonight, are we? There we are. Good. Okay.
Cheers, Chris. So generous of you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the boys next time I see them a pint or two.
Well, that's almost offset the cost of that one we had down in Brighton, isn't it?
almost, and almost offset the higher charge for the cups. But thank you, Chris. That is incredibly generous of you.
Cheers, Chris.
Yeah, we thank you so much for that. That's above and beyond. Where am I? So I've lost the point now. See, James is so used to this, and I'm
one after Telecaster.
We're at Mendel Rocks.
Yeah, but Ben, go and enjoy yourself, mate. Go and get a Telecaster.
Yeah, man.
Sit you around. God, once you've got a telly, for me, that's it. But everyone's different.
Yeah.
Mendel. Sorry.
Noel, glad we're all here again.
Evening.
Yeah,
Followed by Max saying very much the same thing. Good evening to you, Max. Have you bought anything new, Max? Max was buying stuff.
Was he?
Left, right, and centre, wasn't he? A couple of weeks back. Scrunge. What is it? That's a new name, isn't it?
Scrunge.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, I think it's a new one.
Hello, Scrunge. Welcome along. About 5 years ago, owner of Sound Effects was trying to sell me on the Swiss-made Relish guitars, which I thought was fugly. Exactly what I thought when Paul sent me the link before he did this video. Instead, bought used Music Men like the 3 Humbug single.
Luke.
Oh, right. Luke, of course. Yeah. Best decision I ever made. I do prefer the look of the Music Man to the Relish thing.
Without a doubt, you made the right decision. Without a doubt, that's definitely the right decision. I mean, one's going to be, even from like a real, resale. Real sale. And yeah, from a resale point of view, you bought a classic guitar that's fantastic. Yeah, they are fugly. They are fugly. I mean, look, let's get it out. And actually, Lee, I'm going to lend it to you. You can do a gig with it if you want. If you want to go and try it out, because you might like it. Yeah.
What are you saying?
Huh? No. He might like the tones out of it.
It suits the fat guy. That's what he's saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. Did you see the video, Lee? Take out the pickups and stuff.
I did. Yeah.
It's got rock about it, hasn't it? The shape, it's sort of
something about it.
Rock machine.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to keep it because I've got another guitar coming that I need to talk about in a minute. But it's not like, oh my god, yeah, I'm definitely keeping that, and that's going to be like a mainstay guitar. I mean, it's great, and I love the fact that you can buy these pickups and swap them out and just. I think that's brilliant. But the pickups are quite expensive.
Yeah,
but it's a great guitar. It's it plays great, sounds great. It's great. It's great. There we go. Sorry.
Travis,
Mr. Noz.
Hello. How are you getting on?
He says,
"You're well."
South Carolina.
All is well there, one hopes.
Yeah.
Mark's gas station, Clearwater, Florida.
Nice.
But it's not raining over there.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. Good enough. Who else? We're on to Christoph. Evening, chaps. A trio of trouble, indeed. Yes. A power chord of bother. David, hello, mate. Hello, Larry, Paul, and Lee. Just bought the Jet 400.
Well done.
Something
Excellent.
like that.
Look at that. That's one you've got, Lee, isn't it? You've got one of those.
I have. Yeah.
That 169 £169. Let's put that.
Mental, isn't it? It's mental.
That's how much they are.
That's crazy, isn't it? Okay.
What are the pickups like on it?
So the stock with that black humbucker in the bridge is really quite hot.
Right.
Probably too hot for me actually, and I've got that colour and I've still got that pickup in it.
Yeah.
But in the white one that I've got, I swapped it out for the Thornbucker, of course.
Have they sent you any free stuff yet, Lee? Because you're basically the UK marketing guy.
They haven't even replied to my last email.
Really?
Because we've done two videos on them now. We did the white one and we did the multicoloured one that I bought from Bob Marley. And I sent them a video from the second guitar one and they haven't replied.
Bad form, Jet. Bad form.
So
he's ordered a Vega Trem. Have you used the Vega Trem, Paul?
No, never used the Vega Trem.
No, ditto. A used Thornbucker, which we like, based on Paul's experience of, and Lee as well. New looking tuners and new pots. Anything else you'd consider upgrading?
Yeah.
The finish
The 5-way, no, upgrade the 5-way. If you're doing the pots, do the 5-way switch as well.
Might as well do the whole harness.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
You don't want that failing you at a gig.
No.
But in terms of, I mean, that sounds like exactly all the upgrades that I did on the white one. But I put a Goto 510 trem in the white one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. Do you know what? I can get that. I can finish gigging with that guitar on a Saturday night, put it in its case, and not get it because I've got other guitars at home. I don't actually get that one out again until the next Friday when it's a gig again, and it's still in tune. I turn up at the gig, get it out, and it's just amazing.
It was in tune when I bought it.
Yeah. And I don't think, and I think everything about the guitar is great. I would say, and as opposed to upgrading anything, just go and get a setup if you feel that. I mean, I would just go and get it set up, just because it's wonders what a decent luthier can do.
Yeah. Well, whoever's doing all those upgrades for you, get them to do the setup as well.
Yeah. Really worth doing. It's really worth doing.
If they do it all at the same time, they'd hopefully throw the setup into the equation. It's a lot of work they're going to do there. Out of curiosity, David, would you be prepared to share with the assembled masses roughly how much you've spent on those upgrade parts against the £169 retail cost of the entire guitar? No pressure, but I'd be interested.
Well, I bet he's paid 100 quid. I bet he's paid about 75 quid for the Thornbucker. 75 quid for the Thornbucker. I mean, I got my locking tuners for 30 quid. New pot, 15 quid. If he's doing both pots, I guess 30 quid. I've no idea about a Vega trem though. But the Goto 510s you can get for about 80 quid from Toman. So you're still looking at a total bill of probably around 350, 400, something like that. But that's a lot of guitar for that money.
Yeah, well, that's all that's happening. Yeah. It's a guitar that he's keeping and playing though, because if you try to flog one on second hand, I'd be interested actually. Is anybody selling jet guitars second hand on the massive E?
Yeah, I bought one.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hello, John. Good afternoon over there in the United States of America. Hope you're well.
Hi.
Ben, any chance you could make an impulse response to that Bad Cat Cub? There's not very many IRs with the Bad Cat speakers out there. Have you got a Bad Cat speaker?
No, I've sold my Bad Cat.
Yeah,
I've sold my Bad Cat.
What speaker was in it?
It was just a Celestian. It's a Celestian.
Greenback.
What was it? I think it was a vintage 30. I think was in it.
There you go, Ben. Just go to the Celestian website and download the vintage 30 IR.
Yeah, honestly, mate, there's nothing special. There's nothing special in those amps, and even in the matches they use greenbacks. There's nothing, there's no magic in those amps. They just use great Celestian speakers.
The boxes, they're all made in the same factory anyway.
Are they? That's interesting.
Well, when I had a tour of the Victory factory many years ago, they were making stuff for all kinds of people. Orange, Mad Professor.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. John says that he's just seen The Offspring, Simple Plan, and Sum 41? Is that how you're supposed to say it?
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of? Blink 187 is the one that you've got.
182.
Oh, 182. There we are. Right. Some more last night. It was loud. Great. I'm pleased. Good old school amps with multiple 412s, easily over 100 dB.
Well, you say that, but the thing is, there were amps on stage and there were Axe effects out the back.
Yeah. I wonder.
I was chatting with Thorpe at Brighton. Is it James Thorpe? Is that his name?
Adrian.
Adrian
Thorpe.
Sorry, Adrian Thorpe. Of course it is. I was chatting with him at Brighton, and we were talking about the onset of modelling and digital and all that kind of stuff. And I said there's obviously lots of gig rig rundowns that you can go watch on YouTube where guitarists show off their rigs. And I said we were talking about John Petrucci from Dream Theater, and and I said, well, of course, Petrucci is now using Axe effects in the loop for effects. And he said, and Thorpe said to me, do you think so? What, just the effects? Do you not think that's providing his amp tone as well? And I said, he's got Mesa Boogie heads on top in the rack. Yeah. And he said, do you not think that they're there because he has to have them there because he's paid by Mesa Boogie to have them there? you not think that the whole tone is coming from the axe effects? And I said, oh, interesting observation there. I hadn't thought of that. No.
Has he not got an archetype now as well?
Oh yeah, he's had it for quite some time. Yeah.
I think back to, I think it was 2008 when Spinal Tap played Glastonbury. They went to Music Bank in London to do their rehearsals the week before, or the week leading up to, and I was on the other side of the corridor from them in a different rehearsal space, and lined up along the corridor were the boxes from Milton Keynes, Marshall amp heads and all the rest of it, and it said, handwritten on the front, Marshall, Spinal Tap dummy heads, because they all went to 11. So yeah, I do wonder if, you think of the cost of touring these days, if those are actual 4x12s, actual heads, or if they're just very light shells with nothing in them. Stick a mic in front of it, looks the part, but I mean, crikey, Thorpe knows a thing or two, doesn't he? Probably knows more than we do.
He just dropped it in there as a bit of a conversational bombshell, and I thought, oh, interesting.
Yeah,
maybe, I don't know.
Fair call, though, isn't it? Fair call.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Richard, good evening to you, sir.
Evening,
Hope
Richard.
you're well.
Evening, Richard.
Mark's gas station. I'm in Florida, Orlando, Florida. Just up the road. Well, you'll have to go and have a bevy, lads.
Yeah, you have to go now. Have a pint.
Florida's massive, though, isn't it? It's like like Americans don't mind driving 4 hours to go and see a neighbour, and it's like, if I've got to drive 4 minutes, I'm moaning.
Yeah. Funky bass. Dennis Cornell is an amp genius. I think you guys are in great hands.
Nice.
I'm not going to get any argument from me. Jeff, is the JTM studio amp basically a smaller blues breaker, except BB has tremolo and Studio 20 has an effect loop and DI?
So
kind of what I've gleaned from the videos that I've seen. Yeah,
I think, isn't the JTM amp, wasn't that originally Marshall's take on the Bassman?
Yeah.
So no, when the original JTM came out, it actually looked like that back in 63, 60, I don't know, whatever the year was. And then after that came the Blues Breaker amp. It's only called the Blues Breaker amp because Clapton used it on
that record.
Yeah. So no, it's. I mean, I don't know if the circuit's the same. You'd have to ask Marshall on that, but it's basically a creation of the original JTM 45. And also, I want to know, why is it 45 when it's a 30-watt amp?
I can't. There is an answer.
I'm sure I've read that. I'm sure I've read why the first amp was.
Is it not something to do with the circuit diagram number, in the same way that they're on whatever they are now, 2201s or whatever? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm stretching there. It's not based on
the JCM 800 has nothing to do with it coming out in the 80s, is it? Didn't Jim Marshall had 800 on his car number plate? So I think they
is that right?
Oh yeah, it's some mad story like that. Yeah.
Mark and K-Shap, Sebastian, Florida also. Mike's over there, that neck of the woods.
Florida.
David McQuillan.
There we go.
This is a beauty, actually. I don't know if you can see that. If I try and get the light to reflect appropriately, can you see that ship on there?
Yeah.
It's nice. So Mr. McQuillan from the Highland Plectrum Company, he makes these fantastic plectrums. You can go and get them on Reverb. They are fantastic. Search out the Highland Plectrum Company, and you will not be sorry.
Yes, and David says, "Good evening, Rods. In the absence of James, it may be an unbalanced show tonight." Correct. So here's the percussion part. Fat Larry's band was a drummer. That's that done. Time for guitar stuff. Wise, David. Well done. Thank you for being the good BBC balanced, impartial element of the show this evening. K-Sharp. Guess we've florided Floridians.
Floridians.
There we go.
Floridians.
Love the UK Rats and John Cordy too. Yes, John Cordy. I really enjoyed his the stuff I take to a gig video this last week.
Yeah,
so that's great. It just reminded me of the days when I used to travel around in a little van with all manner of gubbins in the back of it, and everybody else. You know, the singer's gone within 20 minutes of the show finishing, and then an hour and a half later or whatever. Yeah, and so unusual as well. Yeah, however much time passes later, it's just you and the drummer aching back, sweating like Billy O, more so than when you were playing. I don't know. Those were the days. Nectarius, do you need anything more than a Fender Pro Junior for a decent clean tone? Fair shout.
No, I mean, no. I mean, it's a great tone. I mean, so I've got an amp coming as well, actually. Shall I talk about this now?
It's as good a time as any, isn't it?
I've had up my my Masterbuilt telly. My Masterbuilt this one. Oh, let me get it.
Yes, there shouldn't be a Studio Rats live Q&A that doesn't display a telly. It is a pleasant thing.
It's a pleasant thing. So that's been up for sale for a while now because I'm not really using it. So a nice gent got in contact, and I'm swapping it for a Fender custom shop Strat, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and what's the little Vibrachamp, a Fender Vibrachamp, 68 Vibrachamp,
right,
and some cash, and some cash, obviously, but I'm quite interested to try out these, the little Fender, because I've never tried out the really small sort of Fender amps. Deluxe is about the smallest I've gone down to. But while we're here, shall I show you the Strat?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Because I want to get your opinion, because it could be divisive. Let's have a look. Let me
bear with us, dear viewer. Paul is technologically challenged in this department. Here we go. Now,
look at that. That's proper David Gilmour. That is.
It's a knackered Gilmour, isn't it? Look.
Yeah, lovely. Oh, beautiful.
James is going to want to try and pilfer that, I think.
Oh, he can stuff it. So what it is, it's a Pabline. Hold on, I shouldn't show that, should I? There we go. Hold on. A Pablano Strat. So it's their pickup, that their hot Strat pickups, and
right.
So it's interesting. It might have arrived tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to trying that out.
It's pleasant on the eye, but for my taste, perhaps a little bit too knackered.
A little bit too knackered.
Yeah, I can't.
When you get it out the case, can you make sure the first thing you play on it is the intro to "Shine On You Crazy Diamond," please?
It's the only thing. It's funny. Like James has got himself James went to the auction, and he bought himself a
parts
Dave
caster.
Looking parts caster, and it's the first thing. It's the first thing that everyone does, and it's the first thing he did, and the first thing I did, just to go. Is it there?
Oh,
it's
I mean, you've got to christen it with that. You've got to.
it is genius, but everyone does it, don't they? But yes, I will be doing that.
It's funny. David, should I be running a buffer pedal in my effects loop? I'm running 4 cable, and I need to have 20 feet of cable to run from my pedal board through the send. I have never, so I will bow to your greater knowledge, gentlemen.
Lee, do you want to comment on that?
Is 20 foot just what you're running between pedal board and amp, or what are you running from guitar to presumably amp first? That would be handy to know, because it's all about the totality of your cable length, not just one part of it.
Very true. And also it depends on what amp you're running it through, because I think some amps do have buffered effects loops. So that would negate that. But for like Freebens, for instance, I would definitely. I really like buffers. If there's ever a way that certain pedals have like either true bypass or buffered, I always switch into buffered because I like the sound of buffers and I like the way they feel. They things feel more reactive for some reason. I don't know why people don't like them.
Right.
I get really confused with all this. Like these. I think TPS they tend to not. I imagine that they don't like buffers and stuff.
Well, they've got options, haven't they, with using that G3 or the Atom and such like. I'm going to take
honest,
a while.
David's probably running one in there at the moment anyway, and he probably doesn't even know it. Because
Exactly.
I mean, most tuners have got buffers in, or a lot of them have. So that's your front end sorted, and then if you're running like a delay or something in the loop, that's probably got one in as well. So you're probably covered.
I'll take a punt, David, that you've got a Boss compact effect unit somewhere in your collection. Move that to the end. As Lee says, if you've got a tuner up front, you're probably there and thereabouts. Try it. See what you like about the sound or dislike, and then make decisions from there, rather than running out and spending more money on stuff. I know that that's what the industry is set up to make us all do, part with our cash, Exhibit A. But yeah, you've probably already got enough gear on the basis that you've got nous enough to be doing 4 cables and all the rest of it, and you're doing gigs large enough to need 20 foot's worth of cable. Use the stuff you've already got and make an informed decision. Use your ears. Yeah,
is that 20 foot on each side of it as well?
Yeah. Have you got
what's the
what's that? Is that 80 foot of cable in total?
What's the total cable run? Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's right. Those flies back.
Yes, keep seeing this. The farmer's field out that way. There are 3 of them that have now been harvested, and there are hay bales all stood up. The one closest to us remains as yet uncut, but the wildlife's going crazy. As we were putting the kids to bed tonight, we saw 2 munkjacks wandering around and a hare. So busy.
I nearly run over a munkjack in the other day, actually. Yes, little. Do you know that they're little terrors? They're actually destroying our destroying the UK's wildlife and stuff. But anyway, this is not for that show.
Yeah. We've gone all country fire. We don't need that, do we? Johnny Love. Oh, thanks, Johnny. You're getting involved. What do you do if you accidentally run over a drummer? Reverse.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mendel, good evening to you. Hope you're well. EL84s for the studio right sound question. Nice progress and very interesting concept. Have to start planning for a NAD in 2024. What's a NAD?
Hoping it would differ just enough from the Indy 35 with reverb to own both. Oh, you got an Indy 35. Nice.
What is a NAD? I've got sidetracked there.
New amp day.
Oh, right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be nice, won't it?
Yeah. Nice.
Pets pack. You can pick 1 custom telly each. What year and what specifics to you? Oh, man alive, Pet. We had a little team talk before we started the stream tonight, everybody, and Paul, being the skipper for the evening, said, "Lads, whatever you do, don't get into the weeds too much because there's 3 of us harping on." And then Pet lays that out for us.
Well, let's do it quick.
I can say mine quite quickly because I wouldn't have a custom telly. If I was going to have a Telecaster, I would just have a Fender player because I think they're good enough. I've gigged with one. I think they sound great live. And they cost roughly about the right money that I'm willing to part with. So that's
absolutely. Yeah, no, good and great choice. I want a 50s telly because I want a thick neck. So I'll have a 50. I'll have a 50. 52 or 59. Even though I think 59 was a bit thinner, but we'll go with that. Or the 59s that I've had. 59 custom shops that I've had. Go on, Greg.
I would go early doors as well. I've got a 2000 and whatever it is 6 American, so I'd do something that was a bit closer to Leo's original design, and and just try and stay true to the origins of the sound. Go that route.
Nice.
Thomas, good evening to you. Hi guys, I have just changed the strings on my PRS SE DGTs to 9s, and now you can hear the springs ringing. This only happens on a C note. Suggestions?
Yep. So what you need to do is you need to get yourself some rubber plastic tubing. You can buy it on eBay, or you can buy it from any hardware store. It's almost like medical grade stuff that they use for medical tubes or something. And you might need to slice them in half, but next time you take the springs off, you can slide this rubber tubing inside the springs.
Wrap it around.
It just completely deadens them, and then put the springs back on. You won't hear anything.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you can also do what Greg's doing just by wrapping stuff around it. And you can almost get and you can get a bit of foam as well. You can just stick behind it. Just make sure that the trem is still working to how you want it.
Yeah.
But every single Friedman that I've had has had every Friedman is just the spring just go over everything. It's the most annoying. But
Clapton always used to say that was in part of his sound, didn't he?
Oh really? Did he?
Apparently, yeah. When he used to play a guitar that didn't used to bring out the springs, he used to say something was missing.
Oh, that's interesting. There's also you can also buy springs that are coated, like coated springs, like special trem load. It depends how much you want to. If you want to do it the cheap way, do it Greg's way. If you want to spend a little bit more, do it Lee's way. If you want to spend
options, it's not the biggest issue. The classical instruments, violins, cellos, violas, etc., have wolf notes. So each instrument, and more so on cheaper end stuff, have just got certain notes, essentially standing waves within the sound box that cause bother. So the fact that it only happens on a C makes me wonder if there's something, in a physics capacity that's occurring there. But if it's just the springs that you're hearing, like Lee says, just get them muted and get on with it. Although, the flip side of that, Professor Mick Taylor says that he wants that sound. It's part of the sound, part of what the instrument does. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan, but anyway. Oh God, sorry.
Max, drummers have their uses. You can tell the stage is level when they dribble out both sides of their mouth. Well done, chaps.
Absolutely.
James is going to be spitting chips, isn't he? So, evening, everyone. Hope you're having a great week so far. And to you, sir.
And to you, Matt. Mr. Brose.
In response to Thomas about Floyd Rose makes noiseless springs. Oh, there we are. Or maybe another brand. But I've added to a few guitars with that issue.
Yeah.
Good enough. Solutions abound. Ben's back. My picture is about 10 years old now. My main electric is a PRS SE24. The new C24. The new NF53 is the perfect sound from the demos to me. I love the look of 69 thin lines, though. I think I will go for it. Go for it, Ben. You're not going to get any argument from Paul or not.
I'd like to try one of the NF, the 53s, or the what's his name one.
We're going backwards, Paul. Braxel, are we going to do a Tonex capture of the new Marshall? That's an interesting one to put you on the spot, Paul.
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. So James and I have got hold of a JTM reissue. So we'll probably use that instead. I think it's a little bit. I think it'd be a little bit out of order.
On the nose, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, doing it. So it feels like the Marshall gave me the amp. It wasn't a paid video, apart from it was paid in gear or whatever. So it wasn't a paid video. So it just feels a little bit like, oh, thanks for that. Now
yeah.
So I don't think so, but there will be a JTM pack coming. Definitely, we need to talk about that stuff in a minute.
Matt had a couple of good weeks. The Telly and Matchless 3015 have found good new homes. So today was Tonex pedal day, and already enjoying it. Is there a way to leave a patch blank on the pedal? Great shot. Thank you, Matt.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, mate.
No, I don't know.
Well, I guess you could have a blank. You could just save a preset with the volume down.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know why you'd want to though.
Changing guitars live, maybe. I've done it. I've done that before.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Given that Tonex has now come up and we've just struck 9 bells, is this a good opportunity to jump into the news, and we can go straight to our discussion point therein?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so should we do the news first?
Yeah. Do you want to start with your ones, and then I'll attempt to share mine thereafter?
So I thought this was, quite interesting. So Fender have launched kids guitars, which I think is really good, because it's a 3-string guitar, so you can either get a 3-string telly or a 3-string for kids, because and if a kid picks up even one of the small guitars, like little kids, they're still quite big. 199 quid though, so they're not cheap.
It's punchy, isn't it, for half a guitar?
Yes, that's basically what it is, isn't it? It is half a guitar, and you wonder, if your kid does get anywhere on that, then when you give him 6 strings, is he then going to go, or he or she, are they then
go Michelangelo and just do 3 on each side?
You could do that. You could definitely do that.
Can you get rid of the comment while we're doing the news, Paolo?
I can't, because
got Distant Sun on.
Oh, have we?
Oh, good lord.
See, this is not... Do I click on
there
that?
We are. Well battered. Good lad.
There we
Good
go.
lad.
Thanks, mate.
I bought Layla a miniature Strat, like a half-size Strat, a couple of Christmas ago, second hand, for closer to 100 quid, including a really decent gig bag. So 200 quid for 3 strings, being a tight northern person, it seems a bit punchy to me, but the fact that it would be easier to play obviously appeals, because ultimately that's what it's got to be about.
I don't think I'd advise, even if it, I mean, how little kids are we talking here? I don't think I'd advise anyone to start learning guitar just with 3 strings, because you might spend a lot of time getting really good on 3 strings, and then you'd say to the kid, right, now you've got to relearn all over again.
Yeah,
you've got to learn to play on a 6 string.
Yeah.
So
which 3 is it, Paul?
I don't know, actually. I can't see, and it doesn't say.
You just get enough to make the difference between major and minor chords, I guess, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's, and how many strings on a uke? Is that 4 or 3? It's 4, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, the kids are quite used to playing 4. Yeah, no, they should have done at least 4. But yes, Lee's right. You're going to struggle, aren't you? So we got that. Then obviously I've covered it, but Marshall released the JTM.
Yeah.
D20.
Yeah.
I do like
that cab looks awesome, doesn't it?
It does look nice.
I think all of it looks great.
It does look nice.
Yeah, all of it.
Not cheap though. So the head is 900 quid.
Mm-hmm.
And the cab, the 1x12 is basically 500, and the 2x12 is 650. So not cheap.
That's
not
interesting.
Cheap. Anyway.
I saw, when I watched your video last Friday, I went on to the only place that was showing it as, in terms of having it in, well, no one's got it in stock, but normally Anderton say, pre-order now. They didn't even have it on their website, but PMT had it, and their price was nearer 1,400 quid for the head.
What?
Yeah.
That's mad.
That's bonkers. No,
that must be a combo with the cab included.
The combo here is 1,099. That's crazy.
Punchy.
Okay.
Punchy.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I thought.
No. So
Blackstar plugin.
What? What is going on?
Just plug-in.
They're far too late. I had a quick look at this. They're giving you a plug-in that's got pedals up front, then you got the amp, then you got pedals in the loop, and then you got their bloody awful cab rig thing. Well, sorry, Blackstar, but Neural have been doing this exact concept for years now, and it's probably going to sound a lot better than what you've got here. Just purely by virtue of the fact that your cab rig thing sounds awful. Cab rig just sounds terrible.
So, but what gives them the thought to create a plugin on their amp? I mean, people create plugins to mimic classic, fantastic sounding amps. You know, like Marshalls or whatever, or amps that are really hard to get hold of, and they're doing like basically a capture. I mean, it is a budget amp.
Not that budget.
Well, it's a regular run of the mill amp, isn't it? It's like you say, it's nothing. It's nothing boutique. It's nothing special. You could buy them at just about every music shop in the land. But the plugins only 99 quid. So maybe it's going to appeal to someone who's only got 99 quid to spend.
Yeah, thanks for that.
The Black Star St James 50 EL34 2x12 combo is £1,249. I would say it is not a budget amp. How much was that, Marshall, again?
Yeah. Budget was probably the wrong word. I think, but it's easy to get hold of. It's an amp that you could go into PMT, GAC, Andertons, whatever, and they probably got them in stock today. You could easily get one. So that's what I mean. It's run of the mill. Where something like your matchless, you wouldn't be able to walk into Andertons tomorrow and buy that matchless, but you could go in and buy that tomorrow if you wanted.
That's the thing, So I've never heard anyone say, "Oh God, I'd love to get that Black Star tone." That's the last thing I think anyone's ever said.
Remember what you thought of it, Paul? Because you had one for a while, didn't you? Did they send it to you, or was it?
I did a review on it. And I did a review on it, and I was polite. Let's put it that way.
So here's the flip side. Sasha Ivantic, who I think is a wonderful, wonderful player, really likes it. It's one of the things that's on the notes of his videos. This is equipment that I use and I like, and the Black Star is there.
Has he got some sort of deal going with Black Star? Is his opinion?
Well, the fact that he's got a link there suggests, you can read between the lines, don't you? But he's got one of the things. Doesn't use it in a lot of his videos, though, I suppose, which is the bottom line, really.
Again, we were talking about amps that don't take attenuators, and I know it's got a sort of an attenuator in it.
Yeah,
that is the amp that does not take it. It's just honestly, it was. I've never.
But they must have done something a bit because it's extra light to carry, isn't it? That's the selling point of that amp. So they must have done something to the guts of it.
Yeah, they've taken out the transformers.
Right. Yeah.
They've done something weird with it's just I don't honestly. So Sun amps are back. So Excellent. Sun amps have paired. They're paired with Mission. Which I didn't realize Mission Engineering built amps. So there we go. So Sun amps are reborn, as it were. No. I'm never a massive. So I've never been a massive fan of these either. So I'm doing my amp slag off today, aren't I? But I know that they're popular with sort of the sort of Doom. The Doom players and stuff, but anyway, this is one of the things that I look. Can you believe that they've redone this?
That looks like the PA head of the very first band that I was in back when we were at school. PA head kind of looked like that.
I mean, these bass amps were the sort of bass amps where you turned up at a rehearsal studio. Back in the 90s and gone, oh, God, have you got anything else, mate?
Yeah, yes.
And he would have said, yeah, I've got a Trace Elliott, but it don't work.
yeah. But I know fashion's changed and all that, but it'll be interesting to see what they sound like. But yeah. G&L. Wrong-uns?
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't really know what it is, does it?
It doesn't know what it is. I think that's a wrong one.
That headstock says Fender. That body says sort of Gibson PRS-ish. telly.
Do you know what I hate? I hate about this. I hate that. I just hate
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's not great, is it?
I like the inlays. I like the. I quite like that.
Move on.
Not for me.
Next.
And it was almost like it was, like Leo Fender went, okay, I've sold the company.
Yeah, what do we do next?
I'm going to go and start up again. I obviously can't think of anything. I can't do anything that is remotely like the company that I've just sold. So I've got to come up with something. What can I create? And it's he created classics, to start with.
Yeah,
such a shame.
He was just the quintessential tinkerer, though, wasn't he? Always trying to do something to improve stuff.
Yeah.
No, I think we agreed that was Thomas Blug, didn't we?
Yes, fair point.
There we go. Right. So there we go. So,
right. Shall I try and get into these ones here then?
What's that? Oh yeah, you got some new ones. Oh yeah, you got some as well. Go on then.
Bear with. Oh, hang on, I'm doing this all sorts of wrong. Right. Now here's me having given you some grief. Right, okay, I'm in the game. Can you see that? You've got to press a magic button, haven't you, Paul?
Yeah, I can do this.
There we are. So let me just make that El Grande. It's a bit easier, isn't it? There we go. So that I just flick that up double quick to see where we're at in terms of the cost of a black star.
It's a grand. Look there.
Intriguing. Elsewhere, the things that crossed my transom this week, the wonderful people of Chase Bliss, celebrating 10 years, have done a collaboration with Empress.
Nice.
As with most Chase Bliss things, I'm not even going to try and explain what it does. You'll just have to go and look up yourself. It's safe to say it's just going to make everything sound wonderful and fuzzy and warm and delightful. And I like the fact that they've got that operation out of Amsterdam, I think it is, isn't it? To service the European market. They're just doing things their own way.
Cool.
Very progressive sort of people. I think it looks really cool as well. And can we get down to, where is it? I'm not going to find it, am I? I was hoping to see all those. Yeah, there they are. Those wonderful trip switches.
Oh my God.
I mean, you could buy one of those things, lock yourself in a room, and not come out for 12 years, couldn't you? It's just
you could.
Wonderful.
Brilliant.
So, yes, have a look for one of those. They look like a lot of fun. $400, so probably much the same by the time you've done your delivery and all the rest of it in Euro or GBP. Mythos have done a Mass Street Music edition of something that looks remarkably like a Klon Centura. But obviously, it's not going to be the same as that, is it?
Well, the modern isn't that is his Klon anyway. So what's the difference between this one?
I'm guessing it's the germanium element.
Is there not? But there are germanium diodes in Klons.
2 new old stock Russian diodes. Is that 50% more than the original? Who knows? I'm not sure, but hey.
Let's try that.
These guys make wonderful things, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, marvelous. Good. Not gear related, just musical genius related. For those of us on this side of the pond, the Brothers Landreth have put up some new dates for a tour before the end of this year. They go on sale on Thursday, I think it is. Is it Thursday or Friday? Let's have a look. Oh dear, no, we don't want that. I pressed the wrong thing. Always dangerous to press buttons on the internet whilst on a live stream. So tickets on sale on the 4th of August. Let's see how many of the Studio Rats Massive we can get to go and watch the Brothers Landreth. Now, we've been talking about that Marshall head. I got an email in my inbox from Victory saying, look at this thing that's really nice that we've been doing for a long time and we're still making it, honest. The ultimate Marshall style lunchbox head. Yep. Now, here's the thing. Would you sooner, if you were going to use it for a while and then potentially sell it on, have something that says Marshall on it, like that one what Paul did do a nice video of the other day, or would you have one of these? And I'm just going to keep going down. Yes, it's got a delightful selection of features, but if we ever get to the end of this review, £1,199. where the brand spanking new Marshall one, 5 watts less, granted, because the Victory is 25 watts, not 20, but that's a decent chunk of change different, isn't it?
I think that's the difference. That's the difference when you've got like something being, and when I use the word mass produced, it's still made in the UK, but I imagine I haven't opened up the Marshall. Maybe I'll do a little video and opening it up, but I imagine it's PCB based.
Right.
Actually, I'm guessing Victory is as well. I don't know where Victory is.
Yeah,
Victory is made, but it's a small team. I guess it's a much smaller team building them.
So a lot of Victory stuff is kind of hand finished. Is that the right term to say? Hand finished in the UK.
Right. Yeah.
But all their boards and stuff are printed overseas, and you know, a lot of the stuff is all assembled overseas, and they just hand finish it over here in the UK.
Yep. Well, that's what Marshall do with the Origin series. It's knocked together in is it Vietnam? Can't remember.
I think it's Vietnam.
And then finished over here, as opposed to the Studio Rats signature head, which will be lovingly created. It's almost like the marketing department's in situ tonight, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. There's going to be a difference in the price of that and that head, because it's point to point, hand wired. There's no
exactly.
PCB,
no PCB shenanigans.
So, it's going to be, but that's basically what it's got to compete against. But I guess it's a different market, isn't it? If you want someone to buy something that's mass produced, you go and buy that, and you've got something that's a bit more, you know, unique or whatever. But I mean, all great amps. They're all great amps. Right, where are we?
We are at David.
We've done that. David
There we are.
there.
I'm not good enough to play a telly yet. I'm not, but I'll do it anyway. Speaking of telly greats, do you chaps know Danny Gatton, the world's greatest telly player ever, in my opinion? I would concur. I can think of no one better. There's a nice video of Joe Bonamassa talking about essentially learning guitar via Danny Gatton, or learning some things about the guitar via Danny Gatton. And if you search YouTube for Danny Gatton instructional, I think it's 1987, there's quite a wobbly video that's been uploaded digitally of an instructional that he did, and he's just phenomenal. Also, I can't remember the name of it, but there is a film that has recently come out about him as well, that you need to have a Google, see if you can find that. But yeah, if you have not heard of Danny Gatton, as David says, seek him out. He was a phenomenon.
Absolutely.
Martin's been playing 50 years now. Played most guitars. Fair play. Fair play. Lil Freeman 1. Gentlemen, I'm trying to decide on a Gibson. Have a studio, but want a cleaner tone. Should I go standard, traditional, classic? Or what are the cleaner Gibson pickups? Help! I will have to defer to you gentlemen there, because I have only one LP style, and it doesn't have a G on the headstock.
So, Lee, do you know much about the Gibsons?
Well, Gibsons are very they're high output guitars anyway, aren't they? So, I mean, if I was specifically after a clean tone, I'd probably go Strat. I wouldn't use a Gibson at all, really. I don't know enough about Gibsons though to know the difference between standard, traditional, classic though. But all I know is they're just very high output guitars, so probably not best suited for clean. If you definitely want clean.
Yeah, I do agree. But if he definitely wants a Les Paul, the thing about the studios are I forgot what the pickups are called, 760s or something. They're so high output, and they're muddy, and they don't sound very good, in my opinion. So, but if that's what's holding you back, and studios traditionally are because it's the cheap, or was the cheap model, they tended to be the heavier guitars, like really heavy. Obviously, they don't have all the binding and that sort of stuff, which some people prefer. If you want to get the cleaner Gibson pickups, if you want the more traditional sort of PAF style pickups, you need to get some like custom buckers or something, or just get what you want. Find the guitar you like, and find the guitar you think sounds good acoustically, and then just go and get a set of aftermarket pickups from someone else. I personally think there are better companies, or there are better there are better pickups made by other companies than bloody hell. Look at that thing. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know, there's plenty of great sounding pickups that you can put straight in a Les Paul, and so, you know, even if that's the problem with your studio, but if you like your studio and you like the acoustic tone of it, just go and get some pickups for it. That's what I would say.
Can't you use a gain pedal or a boost pedal to turn down the output?
It's all about the impedance as well. It's more than that, isn't it? It's more than just output, because you know, someone the other day said that there was a comment on one of my videos. Oh, that was it. It was on my. Do you remember that green Strat that I had?
Mm-hmm.
Had a humbucker, and I hated the Seymour Duncan JB.
Yeah. And
someone said, you know, why didn't you wind it down? You know, get the pickup back. It's not a pickup. Is not, you don't adjust the volume of a pickup. Has its optimum height. You don't go, oh, it's a bit loud, I'm going to wind it back, because then it loses something out of that pickup. Pickup is supposed to be, depending on what the pickup is, you find the ultimate position for that pickup. If you don't like that, winding it back or, you know, turning it up, you're just farting about.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, but custom buckers, get yourself a set of custom buckers. Yeah, you like them. They're more paffy.
Al's gone for one of them Relish guitars as a laugh. I was talking to the guys at Cream Tea Sound Effects a few months back. Intrigued to test out purely for recording in the studio more than anything, really. I guess that's one of the things, isn't it? If you can speed up your workflow in the studio by going, I don't want this sound, I want that sound. And as James showed on the Q&A last week, seconds to go from one pickup to another.
Yeah.
Does that help? Oh, yeah. Martin, been playing. Right, here we go. This is what Martin got too enthusiastic with the return key.
He pressed enter by mistake halfway through.
Yeah. Played most real guitars, but no lie, I've never picked up a telly just because it don't look finished to me. When I first started playing, you know, my first guitar was a Strat, and I looked at tellies and I thought, that's an ugly looking thing. What is going on there? Years and years and years, I pushed it aside, and then all of a sudden played a telly and went, oh my God. Because it's it's the ultimate rock machine. It can do everything. It's the telly in the bridge position for me is that it's the best crunch tone. Better than anything, in my opinion. I love them. There we go.
Yeah. But are we going to convince Lee one day? Oh, you've got a telly, haven't you?
I used to have, I sold it on. But I used to play tellies in the past. You know, I was just trying to find a photo of me playing one. I used to have a Telecaster Blacktop. Do you remember them?
No.
That was a double humbucker, HH.
I'll
see if I can find a picture of it. I'll see if because I played it for years and years and years. And I did like that guitar, but I wanted to move to something that had a trem. So
yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Johnny.
Hold on. I've got to move. Oh no, and I've missed a couple of super chats. Hold on.
We're going to do Jeff first or Pet?
Oh, let's do Jeff first. Thank you, Jeff. That is incredibly generous of you. He says, Re-Vega Trem, I now have 6 of them. The Australian distributor told me that I bought more of them than any dealer. And oh my God, we've got a few questions to get through, so we need to get moving. And Mr. Moxie, cheers, Pet. Thanks, mate.
Hoppy is currently sleeping with a nose on a JHS sweet tea. I'll come on now and we can sing a barbershop song. Nice.
Let me find out where we are, because Greg, do you know where we are?
Johnny Love, 8:37 p.m. Bought a used Black Star. I can. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. But I can't drive from this, and it's got to be you, mate. I'll just read it. Okay. Bought a used Black Star Silverline 100-watt deluxe head and a 2x12 cab recently, their Katana equivalent, just to try out. Couldn't get a sound I liked, even with pedals to clean channel. He continues, the 2x12 cab, though, was great, so I kept that and managed to sell just the head for more than what I paid for both of them. All good. Well batted, Johnny. Well done. Well done. Yeah, I don't think there's...
Oh, okay, got it. I've got it.
Oh, there we are. Look at that rock pose. Good Lord.
What's going on?
The way that
that was telecast for Blacktop.
The way that the shadow is on your left thigh, it looks like you've got an armadillo down your trousers.
Moving on.
Bioterra, Vegatrem had a smaller intonation adjustment scale, or how you say. Also, those small intonation screws might drop out because of the vibration. I would rather buy Super V if you need a blade trem.
There we go.
Okay. And Jeff, we've seen Ben's back. The backcat speakers are supposed to be modified somewhat. Do they really not sound any different? Do not know. Did you have the backcat speaker as well as the head? Did you have the cab? I can't remember when I came around to the old
No,
cab.
I had a combo.
Right. Oh.
I've never had a head. No, I mean it's not. They're not. I mean, they just put their badge on it. It's a Celestian. It's a Celestian speaker. I mean, they might. I don't know. As far as I know, they're just. As far as I know, it's just standard. I mean, it's nothing that's a bit of playing in wouldn't.
They sprinkle them with unicorn dust before they leave the factory. There you go.
That's it.
And I'm sure if you really want one, you could. You could contact Black Star and.
Bad cat.
Sorry, God. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting late. Let's push on. Justin's back. Hello, guys, and bye, guys. Always a pleasure to see you, Justin. I'll be back in a minute. Funky Bass. I picked up a relish for 350, and then 2 pairs of the cream tea pickups, cream of the crop humbuckers, and Duchess P90s for 450. That's a good price for 2 sets. Our feedback was the right wild punt. Where did you manage to acquire 2 sets for about 20% more than the price of 1 set? Well done, just Funky.
Nice on it. Work.
David, evening all. We're all doing well, and the same to you, sir.
Nice looking telly. Look at that.
Martino, I live on Hayling. We'll check you out on Thursday.
Nice.
Somewhere, right, Martin's down Lee's neck of the woods.
Week tomorrow. Make sure you get yourself to the bike night.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Nice.
And Justin's back. Here he is again. Blink 187 are my favourites.
They're 5 away from the real band.
Yeah. 5 will help you get down. I think Justin's just waiting for a bit of Come On Eileen or something. Ben Myers, I saw a clip of Weather Report in Scotland, and it's always crazy to me how small everywhere in Europe is as American. Yeah, it's cracky. And yet we managed to pack so much bobbins weather in. David, Vega Trem was 125, Thornbucker 80 quid, Grover's 30, Potts 20. Yeah. So all in 420.
Yeah, nice. Decent. That's going to be a great guitar.
How much is a Mexican Strat ish in America?
£689 now.
Right, so presumably somewhere between $500 and $600 alone for the fact they don't have to ship it across the water. So it's still coming under that. Well batted. Joe Marshall, Jazz Chorus is far better than a Pro Junior Cleans.
Okay.
What do you reckon?
No idea.
I was not offended by the dirt sound of that Jazz Chorus when you were around at James's gaff. I didn't think it sounded terrible in the room.
No, it's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. It's great. It sounded great. But Jazz Chorus is the chorus is what makes it great. I'm not sure it's a great tone. I'm just not a massive fan of them, but Matt says
Champs are killers. You'll love it, Paul. Eric Clapton recorded Layla on Champ. An incredible tone from an 8-inch speaker. If you don't like it, let me know.
Matt, it's definitely not going to be a keeper, mate. So it's going to be do a video and then punch it on. So if you want it, let me know.
The Great Eastern Effects, the wonderful David from Great Eastern Effects, does a small speaker drive, doesn't he?
He does.
Probably over your left shoulder that he's trying to recreate, or get in the ballpark of those kind of things. They're a sound. They're a thing, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, Matt, let me know if you want it, mate. It's yours. Hollywood. Evening all. Good to see Lee and Craig on the channel. Should we have our... Yes, it is. It is nice to see them. I think what Hollywood's saying, it's nice to see James not on the channel, is what he's saying.
Yeah, and as a good guitar wielding person, Hollywood's saying, yeah, thank goodness the drummer's gone.
Yeah.
It's
Is it worth... Because Lee's bought a new bit of gear and I want to hear all about it. Should we talk about that?
Yeah, let's jump in there.
We really haven't got long, and we've got lots of questions to get through.
Haven't we? Yeah. All right. So we're going to come back to Hollywood. I'll stay on the next one from Hollywood if you want to dive across, and then we can keep it relatively smooth as we move forward.
Let's get through it, and then I'll give my opinion, and then that's it. Because this is not a democracy, Lee.
Right. Okay. So I took a trip to Anderton's last weekend, fancied buying some new gear, and I'd done some research beforehand because I was really, really enjoying using my Strymon Riverside. We're both fans of the Strymon Riverside. Yeah. And
you can see it, just that you can see it shining gold.
Yeah.
Over there, look. There it
is. And it does sound great with the Tonex, no doubt about it. It sounds great in front of your matchless captures in the Tonex. I was gigging with the Tonex a couple of weeks ago, and I built together some new patches for myself based on the Mesa Boogie ones that I showed you, Paul. And I really wasn't feeling it. I really wasn't feeling it. I really not to say that the Tonex doesn't sound great, because it does. And as we've discussed before, it's all about the captures. Get good captures. The Tonex sounds amazing, and there's no getting away from that fact. That's how it works. Anyway, I've done some research on something that would sound really good as a pedal platform, so that I could use my Riverside a lot more. And I went for this. So this is the UA Dream.
Ooh.
So this is their take on the Fender Deluxe Reverb. So it's a clean pedal. Essentially, it's a amp in a box of a clean amp. I say clean, it's got some drive in it, and it's got a boost in it as well, and there's different flavors to the boost and all that kind of stuff, and there's IRs in here, so it's a one box sort of solution really, and it takes the Riverside incredibly well. The pair of them together sound amazing, and it kind of leads me.
Studio or live? Have you tried it live yet?
I haven't tried it live yet because I haven't done any gigs since I bought it. But yeah, I will try it live, and I'll let you know what I think of it live. The Tonex, I think for me, the concept of I'll reiterate, the sound of the Tonex is amazing. Get good captures, sounds amazing. I think the whole concept of the way that the Tonex business model works has kind of run its honeymoon period for me. I've still got it, still got the Tonex, it's still here. So the new pack of amps was released by the Tonex partners, which includes obviously Studio Rats and a load of other YouTubers and various other people. And I was trying some of them out because you can try before you buy. And I thought some of them were up my street. Some of the Michael Nielsen ones sounded amazing. I loved his JMP ones, the Marshall JMP ones. Sounded really, really good. And I just thought to myself, even when it came to that JMP pack, I thought, well, I could buy the JMP pack, but it's going to cost me another 20 quid. And I thought, I've already paid nearly 400 quid for the pedal. Why are IK charging me another 20 quid to get a pack of amps? And knowing me as I do, I'd probably only, out of that pack of amps, I'd probably only like 3 of them. And probably only use 1 of them. So I would have paid 20 quid for one sound. And I thought, I don't think I want to do that. And then I started to think to myself, right, well, I just need to go through the tone net. So there's a tone net that you can surf through and find all kinds of different captures. I need to go through the tone net, and I need to pick out amps that I like, because there's a lot of stuff for free that you can download and put in your Tonex pedal. All the free ones don't sound great at all. There's no doubting that the partner ones that you pay extra for are the best ones, and IK know that. What they've done is that they've created this business model where they basically say, here is the software or here is the hardware pedal, and everybody can make their own patches and their own sounds for it, and they can all share them around their community, and it's all fun and great. But if you want something serious in terms of a really good sound, we're going to keep charging you for it. And this isn't going to be a one-off, like we're only charging you once. We're going to keep charging you forever. So there'll be another pack along in 3 months' time, and another pack along in 3 months' time, and another pack. Oh, now you've got to have this pack, because we know we said packs number 2 were the ones to have, but pack number 3, oh my God, pack number 3 is just incredible. You know, and pack number 3, and where pack number 2 was 20 quid, pack number 3 is now 25 quid. Do you know what I mean? And this business model is going to go on and on and on. And before you know it, I kind of tried to follow this to a logical conclusion in my head. And I thought, I'm going to spend all my time surfing sounds, trying out different sounds, getting sucked into this whole ecosystem of buying extra packs. You know, if I keep this pedal for 3 years, I probably would have paid another 400 quid in packs. So now I've paid 800 quid. Do you know what I mean? Sure. And I just felt as though I before I go in too deep, I don't think I want to be part of this ecosystem anymore. I just want something simple, which is kind of, I know it's wrong for me to say that this is one sound, because it's not one sound, but this is kind of a singular sound that I know sounds great with my Riverside. And also I'm kind of thinking in my head that I might get back into Victory stuff, so I could get back into the Victory V1 pedals, which were those Thorpe collaborations, and I could use those in front of this. And everything would be just, you know, simple to use, and I know where I stand and all this kind of thing. And again, you see, it's bits of hardware. If I don't like it, I could just sell it. If I buy a pack of Michael Nielsen's JMPs, I can't sell those.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I think there are people that have felt like that. But the thing is, and the reason why we got involved in it was because we were selling packs anyway. And I would, for me, I would hold on a sec.
Is that James?
Yeah. No. Yeah. James is watching and he's going,
Paradiddle.
But no, this is good because Lee's got an opinion. Lee, and Lee's opinion is valid. Okay, so for me and IK Multimedia, I can't speak for IK Multimedia, but for the Studio Rats, I don't want to be going through, John down the road's Black Star patch, and then going through all the different packs. So what they've done is they've actually gone, well, hold on a second. You guys who know how to mic an amplifier up, you know how to do this. It isn't them. It's we're just as much in this as they are. And I'm trying to justify this, because I think you don't have to go and buy every pack. For me, if I want to go and get a pack, I use, on my Tonex, when I go up with the Tonex, I use one sound. I use one sound and put pedals in front of it. That's all you need. Yeah. You find the amp you want. It's a way of people. It's the way of people just going in and just going, right, I really like the Studio Rats guitar sound because it's that matchless. So if you want that matchless, you can buy that. Personally, I would love it if IK Multimedia were selling the captures individually. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they don't. I don't know why they don't, but they want to sell them in packs, and that's great. And that's their thing. But to me, it's such a great product. And then you've also got people that know what they're doing. So you haven't got to wade through all the crap. You can just go, right, I know that Michael Nielsen, or I like Michael Nielsen's guitar sounds. I like the Studio Rats guitar sounds. I like blah, blah, blah. So that's the sound that I want. That's the sound I can get. And to me, that is why it's worth the money. Do you need to go and buy every single amp pack from Michael Nielsen? No. Do you need to go and buy every single amp pack from us? No. But if you want the sound of an AC30 that's captured properly, you come to us because we've captured it properly. If you want the sound of a matchless, you come to us because we've captured it properly. That is the sound of the amp. If you want to go and trawl through 50,000 different amp tones made up by Joe Bloggs down the road, you can do that as well. But I wouldn't recommend, and obviously it's great if you go and buy loads and loads of amp packs from us. You don't need that many amps. Find the amp that you like.
Yeah.
Download. There's your amp. That's it. And that, to me, 400 quid plus 20 quid for a pack, and then you get the sound of a £5,000 amp. I'm pointing my match list down there. That to me is magic. But I completely respect your opinion, and I understand why you bought that thing, and I'd like to try. I've never tried one of those Dreams, so it'd be interesting to try.
Yeah, indeed. There we are.
There we go. No, but nice one. Greg, got an opinion? You're just going to go. I'm not.
No, I'm intrigued that you've just said it. You've spent essentially 400 quid on a unit which replicates the sound of your favorite amp, and you just use that. Lee's response to, I don't want to dump another 400 quid on multiple different amplifier sounds, is to go and spend 300 quid on an amplifier sound.
Yeah. If that's the amplifier sound that Lee wants, then that's great. That's the way to do it. But also, let's not gloss over how long it takes to do captures. It takes literally 3 days for us to come up with a pack. That's 3 days out of our time, and I can tell you.
Yeah, and I'm just again, I'll sign off by saying the Tonex sounds amazing, and if you get good captures, like all the packs that you pay for sound amazing. There's no getting away from that. They all sound great. I think it's the whole ecosystem business model that I think it's not that I object to it, but I don't feel that I want to be part of it, And I feel that if I carried on, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the Tonex pedal. I might sell it, I might not, I might keep it, I might change my mind in 3 months' time. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm just thinking at the moment that, it's an ecosystem business model that I don't think I want to be part of.
Out of curiosity, Lee, have you found on the Tonex anywhere a Fender Deluxe sound that you like?
Not that I like. No.
So the UA is a better solution for you.
Yeah, I haven't gone away and seen if any of the tone partners are doing any clean pedal platform amps. I mean, I know obviously Studio Rats do quite a lot of clean amps or cleanish amps, but I could, but I don't know. Again, but it's all time, isn't it? Of constantly research, going off and sitting here for hours and hours. I should be creating music in here rather than constantly surfing through packs and presets.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Fair play. Right, let's move on then.
Onwards.
We've got lots to get through.
Hollywood, a few weeks back you wanted to know who I was. Still do. If you've got an Instagram channel, let us know and I will follow. My Instagram handle is Larry North and the number's 77. Larry North 77. Yeah, look me up, buddy. Paul, regarding thick neck telly, have you ever tried the early Barger tellies with very big necks?
Yeah, the Bajas. The Baja was an interesting telly.
Is that what it is? Sorry, Baja.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it came out with a 4-way selector switch.
Okay.
I can't remember what the other thing was. Maybe it was a phase thing. No, I've never tried a Baja, but I used to have. I've had quite a few like no caster tellies with big baseball bats, and actually this Strat that's coming, this Pablano, whatever it is, Strat, apparently as the biggest Strat neck you can get.
Really? Be interesting to see that. I know we said we wouldn't get into the weeds. I'd like you to do a comparison video between your other Strats and that, just in terms of tonal variance. Then, anyway.
Yeah, onwards. I love my other Strat. I love that other Strat. So it will be interesting.
Travis, I'm back. I had to step away for a meeting. I asked last week whether I should get a Les Paul or a nice amp. In fact, we'll come back to that, Travis, because you've done another comment a little bit further down, so we'll join the talk. Richard, question for Lee. Do you still use the Humboldt? I hooked mine up to use the cab section with my Helix. It sounds better than the Helix stock cabs.
No, so I haven't got the DSM anymore. I did actually try the new one because there's a new Simplifier Mark II that's come out. When I was up at Anderton's the other day, I tried out that. There's still something not quite right with the cab tones in those things, and you're quite right, I guess, to use IRs with it. It's an analog. They market it, and one of their great things is it's an analog cab sim in there, and they still haven't got it quite right. It sounds a bit flat and lifeless to me.
And yet, as far as he's concerned, still better than Helix standard cabs. Mike's back. Okay, I see a guitar, Larry. Now show me a cello. I'm sat directly in front of me here. My enormous honk is the kitchen table, Mike. I can't fit a cello in here, I'm afraid. I apologize. Another time. Gene, I like the Velcro strip wrapped loosely around the springs. Good solution, Gene. Yep. Joe, who watched the Andertons live stream with Chappers? He's unbearable. I saw it happening and thought, you know what, I'll watch it another time where I can fast forward.
It was just the fact he's holding up pound notes or something, or dollars or something in the thumbnail, and that just looks so crass. What's he doing that for?
But here he is creating people talking about it. He's good at marketing.
There we go.
He's good at marketing.
There we go. Studs.
Homer. Okay. Onwards to each their own. Travis is back. So he was asking, should he buy a guitar or an amp? Beginning my Les Paul hunt now. How do I find those magic Lesters that sustain with great feedback and roaring rock tone and crisp cleans? You don't ask for much, do you, Travis, like the rest of us guitarians? Is there a certain output in the pickups I should be looking for? Again,
low outputs, just as low as. I mean, you know, an old Les Paul. I mean, think about what. Why don't you have a look at like a P90 Les Paul?
That's a good shout. Because
that to me is like the best. That's the best of both worlds, because you've got P90s, which, I mean, I prefer in any guitar without humbuckers. I would always go for. So if I can get, you know, like a Les Paul with P90s, I prefer that to a Les Paul with humbuckers. You just want the 58 and 59 reissues are great. Lower output pickups, they'll have the custom. I think they're probably custom backers they've got in there. And if you can find one of those Les Pauls that does sing, it's great. It's great, but most of them just are so thick. But it is a hunt. You just got to try out loads, Travis. I'm afraid you just got to try out loads and loads and loads until you find the right one.
The only double humbucker Lester style that I've got, I immediately took out the stock pickups and put some Fletcher, essentially low wounds in, because I wanted that sound, and put a 50s wiring harness in.
Hey, I tell you what, the talking about that pickup wise, because someone else was asking about pickups earlier. The Cream Tea do the whisker buckers, which are, I can't remember. A Cream Tea came out with this way of basically, not, if I say modeling, it is a modeling. They can see exactly what's in pickups, and they can recreate it exactly. Right. So what they did was they did it with Billy Gibbons Les Paul is 59, I think it's 59. Yeah. And they've created pickups called whisker buckers. I would say they're probably the ones to go for, because if who doesn't like Billy Gibbons? And Billy Gibbons, I think he loves Telecasters, and he loves that guitar as well. So if you're going to get a Les Paul that sounds more like a Telecaster, which to me is perfect,
he also uses 7-gauge strings, doesn't he? So
he does, yeah. How can he intonate with 7-gauge strings?
No idea.
I can't even play with 9s. Yeah, good luck, Travis. Yeah, let us know if there's anything we can do to help. I'd love to help. I tell you what, if Cream Tea, you can buy Cream Tea guitars, and they came up with a Billy Gibbons model. It looks fantastic to me. It looks like really, it's better than a Les Paul. But it's that design, and that uses those whisker bucker pickups.
And just to answer your previous comment, Travis, the answer, of course, is to buy both. Once you've got your Les Paul, buy a really nice amplifier as well. Yeah. Onwards.
Yeah. Get yourself a great guitar before a great amplifier, I would say. Maybe I'm wrong. Dave,
my dream Telecaster, and will be my next purchase, is a Fender Custom Shop 65 reissue. May have to get rid of a couple of guitars to justify it, but that's definitely happening. Good for you, Dave.
We've
Good
all
for you.
done that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could all go and buy some of Dave's plectrums and help him realise his 65 reissue
help a man realise his dream.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Highland Plectrum Company on Reverb.
There we are. Funky bass. I love those kids' Fenders. I've got a vintage Mini P bass and Strat. Is there a kids' bass? I don't know. What I want to know is how funky is funky bass? Whereabouts does funky bass live in the UK, and whether or not?
He's in Singapore, isn't he? I think now.
Oh right, is that
Dan?
Is that Dan?
No.
Oh
no.
Oh well, there we are. So right, so yeah, well, yeah, you're about as much use as Dan to us in terms of a live gig. Then there we are. So Forge, good evening to you. I'm glad, as are Lee, Paul, and everybody else here, that you made it.
Send us some soap. I could do with some soap.
Yeah.
Shadow.
Okay, we're going to steam through this because you've got 10 minutes. So let's do it.
Have a try. I try my Squire Finish Strat with a Line 6 processor. I'm switching from Zoom to Line 6 Pod Go. That's the only Line 6 I can afford for now. Any other good suggestions in that price range? What's that little Zoom that you've got, Lee?
Well, that's the multi-stomp, but Zoom have just come out with a new version of the is it called the G24 or something? And it's their latest version. It looks awful, but apparently it sounds really good. And they're cheap as anything.
And what was that thing that you guys did the other week?
No.
Right, give it a Stu. All right. Hollywood, 200 quid for a kid's guitar, get a ukulele, and then move them onto a 6-string. Absolutely agree.
Yeah, do that.
Regarding plugins, everyone is doing them. What do I know? Yeah.
Can't gig with a plugin very well.
This company's code the plugin frog. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of plugins about.
There we are. Have you tried converting an old tube radio amp into a guitar amp? I have not. If you're interested in that, the Soap Forge, seek out The Truth About Vintage Amps, and they have discussed those things in depth. Hollywood.
Tim Pierce used to have a projector amp,
and it's that's the thing as well, isn't it?
Great thing, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
From the ground up, or get a vanilla plugin, then tinker with the user interface. Not sure what we're on about there now. Hey, Ron, best headphones for mixing. Paul, you're the one who does it, but you use actual monitors, don't you?
And, yeah. I mean, I used to have a pair of all D's, and they were about $2,000 worth of headphones, and I could. They were heavy, and I couldn't get on with them. So monitors. I'm really sorry. I really struggle mixing on headphones, so probably not the best people to ask.
Bayard, TPS Mick Taylor talks about Bayard Dynamic recently, didn't he?
Yeah. I've heard a few engineers swear by those. But it's almost like you could do 80% of the mix or 70% of the mix on headphones and then finish off on proper monitors.
John's also had that 212 Black Star and likes it. Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds like that's a thing, doesn't it? So, Forge, guys, I'm considering an American Ultra Strat. What do you guys think? And what about the Gen 5 noiseless pickups? Jivey's the only noiseless fan amongst us, isn't he?
Well, I've had an American Strat with noiseless in it. They never caused me any trouble. No, they're fine. They never caused me any trouble. Yeah.
So I would embrace the noise. Please embrace the noise.
Yeah.
Because there's the noiseless pickups are not as good. Ultra Strats, the only ones that I've ever tried, the Ultras are really heavy. So for some reason they tend to use all the heavy woods on it, and it really pisses me off because they're not cheap guitars. So if you can find a light one, go for it. But it's the pickups for me.
The frets wore out on mine.
Really? I thought they were. God, I thought they were like steel frets on those things.
No, not on the Ultra that I
had. Rob's a bit nonplussed about Black Star as well.
That's how I felt. It was a bit sterile.
We aren't sure about the speakers, but I imagine Google will tell us.
Neo.
Okay.
Yeah, the Neos. Yeah.
Okay. Sterile. That's good if you intend to add colour to the pedal board. Yep. Logical.
Be true.
Aristoteles, the diodes on Clon are not even in the circuit when used as a clean boost, as most people do. You've got to actually chuck some gain into the equation to make the magic, fairy pixie dust diodes do what they're supposed to do. That's why it's a double potentiometer in gain. There we are. Yeah. John is another convert to the awe-inspiring genius that is Joey Landreth. I agree, he is indeed amazing.
He is.
Joe, what member of ABBA would you like to get a foot rub? I mean, it's got to be Bjorn. Yeah, Bjorn or Benny, because they're like the brains of the outfit, aren't they? So they'll have figured out what the best foot rub would be to give. There we go.
Would you like to give you a foot rub? I'd rub it on his beard and stuff. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, get some exfoliation into the equation. Rob, I'm not sure about the speaker. I'd imagine the crazy thing, is that like a ton of players were paid to demo it and say they loved it. Yeah, fair enough. You got it. I would suggest that most of the Studio Rats followers are clever enough to read between the lines on that for him. Just use it as a pedal platform. Yep. Ron is suggesting that Jobo is a bit of a weird man. I imagine having gone through the course of life that he has, where childhood was essentially on stage in front of a load of middle-aged men, watching him fiddle, I'd be weird as well.
He's astonishing. He's just
phenomenal. I've got a lot of time for the bloke. His demeanour rubbed me the wrong way when I first became aware of him, but I've really warmed to him. I think he's
I like him.
Unfortunately, too many people feel entitled to give a good review when they are sent one for free. Doesn't mean it's bad, just means it's harder to weed out the gems from the gravel. Wise words indeed. Karen sent me Flaccid. Hello, gents. New here. Fave consoles, analog or digital? Focusrite versus SSL versus Avid, etc. That is one for James to answer next week, Karen. Karen's ex-boyfriend. I assume boyfriend. David, is the new Marshall amp your new favourite Marshall amp?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's great. It's great, but if you want that old sort of vintage Marshall, you think it's fantastic.
Rob's cut into the quick on the next one. I would love to see this as a comparison. The PRS Hendrix 20 against that. Same headroom, theoretically.
Yes,
that'd be a really good video, I think. Yeah,
I think that was based on a JTM.
Johnny, regarding humbuckers that are like single coil, like Film at Night has recommended on numerous occasions that Thornbuckers are the closest. And you guys like those as well, don't you?
Yeah, I've got Thornbuckers on my Sir Peak Thorn. It's fantastic, but they're not. They are more single coil like, but they're not single coils. And I know they're not single coils, but they still don't sound like single coils. They're great, really good.
Ron clocked that I couldn't get to the mute button in time as the red vino went down the wrong pipe and I was coughing my guts up. Anyway,
I didn't see that. Sorry, mate.
Danny is incredible. Agreed.
We've got a lot. Oh my God, we've got a lot to get. We're not going to get through this.
Come on, keep going.
Okay.
Karen's ex-boyfriend, professional drummer for 25 years, stumbled on your live feed. Come back next week, Karen. In fact, come back in 2 weeks' time. Karen's ex-boyfriend, Jivey, will be back. They're talking amongst themselves here. Blue Engine pickups, James put in his 35 last year. I can't remember the brand. Who was it? Thingy Dog. Iron Gear. Well done.
Iron Gear.
Look them up.
Well done.
The greatest unknown guitar master ever, Danny Gatton. Agreed. Them's fighting words. Loves tellies. On we go.
Yeah.
I'm a drummer and I own 5 tellies. It might be.
Wow.
Marco Miniman's a drummer and he owns about 50 tellies.
Rob knows his onions.
Sir Peak Thorn's great.
I had a Jim Root signature telly with maple neck. Sold it. Hate myself now. Wise. Shouldn't have sold it. Sorry, old boy. Oh, it's Lee. Blacktop telly with humbucker. So not really.
No, not at all. The Les Paul of tellies.
Don't have dope.
Bad cats don't have dope.
Okay. Modernized telly should be called. I'm not sure, Fernando. I'm not sure. What do you reckon?
Nah, it's all good. It's all
magic.
It's the shape.
Oh, look, from 5, his personal favourite is a Chinese modern player.
Wow, look at
So
that.
each guitar is individual. There we are.
It is.
Rob likes his Amp 1 Mercury, as do you.
Yeah.
John, agree with Paul. My T-style Kiesel. He does like a Teasel, does John, doesn't it? A Kiesel, sorry. Grunt, sounding fantastic. Yep, fair play. Yeah, Dancer. You lads are on the sauce tonight. Quality. Make mine a double. It's empty. Noise Bloom. I thought we were, oh my Lord, we were in Anarcho Sin.
I don't know.
That is a reference to Monty Python, I think. Any of you all playing 11 rack? Yes.
Yes, and yes.
Yeah, Jarvie loves it. And speak of the very devil, there he is. So even in the Isle of Man, the Isle of Wight, rather, they still get the internet. Paul, I'll send you my UA. Yeah, that caused bother. I'll send you my UA Ruby if you want to give it a whirl on the channel. Joe, have a look on the Studio Wraps website, Joe, and drop Paul a line there, and we'll see if we can make that happen. That'd be great. I haven't tried my Spark yet. Get rid of it. Next. Fernando, Karen's got a point, but sometimes I feel that companies make us believe, as I've said before, I think everybody here is clever enough to work out who's just selling stuff and who's actually having an opinion. That rant by Lee was spot on. Fair play, Lee.
I feel bad about it now.
You don't have to feel bad, mate. That's your opinion. It's great. That's your opinion. Absolutely not a problem at all.
We can go straight on to the next one, Paul.
Okay.
11 racks sounds good. The campers are tired and sound true on tour circuit. There you go. What are you happy with? James, the silent observer. Yes, indeed. Hollywood. Lee's spot on. We'll go full circle and regular guitarists gigging all the time. They'll go back to an amp or a decent amp in a box or a modeler. Yep. Drummer, can I hear it? Does it cut through? Is it loud enough? Keep it simple. Apply the rule of KISS. Every cab sim I've heard on the Aux sounds great. The Studio Wraps one I've heard on Tonex do just same. Yeah, there are ways of making all of these things work to a decent enough level, aren't they?
Yeah.
They do everything now, so you just chase your turn, you never actually play. It's crazy. Fair point. John said, I find the amps I want and buy them, and then done. Get a good clean, edge of breakup, and metal sound. Done. Great. Yeah, what John said. If you already have a deluxe reverb, would a Dream be superfluous? I would say so.
Yeah, I would say so because you've got an Aux box as well, Pet. So
I think, well, yeah, there you go. That's what I was going to go to. At the end, I just want to play. Yes, just play. All of these things that we keep talking about online, they're just trying to get you to part with your cash. You've probably got enough stuff to get a great sound already and not mess with waiting for something else.
Best gear is the gear you've already got.
Agreed. Absolutely. I think ultimately, is it loud and OG live? Braxel, why when I sample the audio files on ToneNet, they sound bad, even from the partner's tone packs? Is it a lick they are playing for it does not fit?
Not all of the tone partner ones have necessarily got a cab. Like all the Michael Nielsen ones, you need to put your own cab on.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that.
Yeah, it is. It's that. Yeah, the licks. Yeah, so you get some set licks that they can play through, and you can audition them. You've really got to try it out yourself, and you can do. You can audition them yourself.
Yeah.
Both John and Rob are saying that Tone Junkie's deluxe reverb is decent on Tonex. Sorry. Karen, it's just got to have your sound, whoever you are. Own it. Agreed. Joe, what's John Power's favourite guitar? Telecaster. Oh, well done, Joe. Well done. Mendel, Lee and Tonex, just looking. But it seems Tone Junkie offers a 65 for free in return for your email address. There's still time to send it back, Lee, and save yourself a couple £100. Apparently Rich Coates and Telly has a big neck and YouTube clips. All love it.
I love it.
Bogeyman. My take, for £400, I can have fantastic sounding amps for live gigs when 90% are on silent stages. Fair enough. Agree with the last point, Lee. Sometimes I do find myself testing tones rather than playing. Then I realise this, and I just put the Studio Wraps matchless or the Amalgams 2 rock correctly. On you go.
Yeah. How many times using that Tonex have I gone straight back to your matchless captures?
Oh, thank you, mate.
James isn't here to do the impressions. Greetings. Nice to meet you all. Subbed. We'll see you again. Nice to see you. Come, seriously, come back. James will talk drums and help you in a few weeks' time. Diggs, stream. Rob, I tried the Humboldt, hated it. Flaccid, have a good one. P90s is so much better than Buckers. Bogey, my take £400. We've already had that one, haven't we? The problem is the endless amount of possibilities. Limit yourself to a few amps. Cream tea or discount on some pickups. I watched on reverb. Worth having a look. Fair enough. Thank you, mate. Good on you, buddy. Hello, Rats. Just got the new DL4 Mark II. So how can I get a great stereo sound with a Katana 50? Get a second amp or send the right output direct to front mix. Paul, over to you.
Get a second amp. Get a second amp. You'll thank yourself, for that sort of thing. If you want big stereo sound.
Travis is agreeing. Get a P90 Lester and a matchless. Boom.
Yeah, there you go, mate. There you go.
SS. I don't understand the internet to know what SS stands for. Is Paul awaiting the Amp X release? I think we all are, to be honest.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to try it.
David, who started this channel, must have had some bread and peanut butter, I guess. Good evening to you, David. Hope you're well.
I don't understand.
I think it's probably because we're just going like the clappers now instead of putting any real thought to things.
Okay.
Jeff, SS frets on Ultra. Oh, stainless steel frets on Ultra Strat. It's the Ultra Lux that's stainless steel. I had the Ultra Lux Strat and Telly, but couldn't warm to them. I actually had the Ultra Lux refretted, and now it's one of my best. Fair enough.
Yeah, I should have.
I feel like we
should have kept.
Hello. Okay. Chaps, Paul, I asked about the bedroom amp last week, a much lesser powerful version of the Katana Mark 200, as I wanted to get one with a foot switch. Budget not big, 300. Second-hand Boss Katana Mark 2.
If you want a much lesser powerful version of a Boss, just turn the Boss Katana down. The great thing about the Boss Katana is that it's great. Yes, it works great on all. Yeah. And then turn the master volume. It's just, the sound is the sound. You haven't got to drive it hard at all. It's not like a valve.
Stick the headphones on. I spend a lot of time sat in the room there playing through a 100-watt Katana head with headphones on in the middle of the night, early morning, so the kids don't get woken up. Sounds wonderful. Yeah. Mendel, your thoughts about comparing load boxes attenuators? They're not all created equally. I agree. I like the 2-note Studio for its I/O, but tend to prefer it with my power station load behind it. Interesting. Paul, you've got more than Lee and I put together. What do you reckon?
I really like the 2-note Studio. That's my favourite, but they're all good. They're all good. That and the Boss one's really good, and the Oxy's really good.
Yeah. So Rob, Karen sent me a
reactive and not resistive.
Yes.
Pet's getting feisty. Let's do shots. Andy's running out of beer. Good Lord. Last super chat means bed. Good night. Thank you very much, Pet. Thank you.
Right, sorry to rush through. Sorry to rush through. Yeah,
we'll have a look through some of those that we've done in the last kind of 10 or 15 minutes and see if there's anything that we need to delve deeper into next week, whilst James will still be on the Isle of Man. No, White. I'm doing it on purpose now. I suspect it's going to be a triple-headed attack again this time next week. Thank you for joining us. Hope you've had a lovely time. Be well. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
See you later.